What on earth is going on at Arsenal Football Club? At this point, today is the first game of the Premier League season. Arsenal are kicking off against Brentford, as you know, away at their new home stadium. And Arsenal fans have not been positive after the preseason that we've had, especially losing against two Premier League teams in the Main series, Chelsea and Tottenham. And then, our top scorer of recent times hasn't hit form, as we know. He's had personal issues in his life. He's struggled with malaria. And in pre-season, he didn't find the back of the net once. So then to hear now that he's unavailable to start, at this point, when people say Banter FC are back, I can't even argue, because it's the worst news. It's something that you don't expect. I was on Good Morning Arsenal this morning on AFTV with Helen and Charlene, and we were speaking about, who are definite starters for tonight would be, although both of us or all of us didn't mention Aubameyang and Lacazette, because as well as they've been our important players in previous times, they haven't really supplied nothing recently. So it wasn't like, oh, they have to start. But the fact that we don't have them as an option now is insane. I saw the tweet. It's been sent to me on WhatsApp about 6 times by rival fans of mine, not fans of my friends of mine, sorry, that support other clubs. And it's also been shared to me on Instagram. And I thought it was a joke, like I thought everyone was just trying to have the banner started already, And I've seen the tweet from David Ornstein, and I don't know, let's see if I can share my screen actually to show you, because I just cannot believe it. Let me see if I can. One moment. Share screen. Is it this one? Let me show you. So yes, Aubameyang. So not only is it Aubameyang, it's Lacazette as well. Set to miss Arsenal's trip to Brentford, the first game of the season. It says he'll miss Arsenal's opening game. The Athletic, this is where I saw the breaking news from, who was first to release it, said that both forwards are not available for Friday's game against Brentford, as they are both unwell. Aubameyang played in all 6 of Arsenal's preseason games, as we know. And like I said, a further blow is not having Lacazette available either. Apparently, he's unwell also. Like I said, he's had a difficult season last campaign, Aubameyang, but he still managed to score 15 goals in 39 appearances. Not great for his, standard, but he did manage to get goals still. But yeah, it's been revealed that they're both unavailable to start. Big up everyone in the chat, by the way. Where does that leave us? How are you all feeling about that? Because what on earth? Noah's saying Balogun or Nketiah. I believe Nketiah is still injured. I'm pretty sure he still has an ankle injury. Need to confirm that. Craig says, I didn't want both of them starting, but none of them starting isn't good. Same. It's just, as fans, we've got to be careful what we wish for, because like I said this morning when I was discussing, our starting 11, I didn't even mention Aubameyang and Lacazette. They didn't even come into conversation. Well, they did come into conversation, but it wasn't like, yeah, cool, they can come off the bench, they can get benched, whatever. But hearing that we don't even have them as an option is worrying. We didn't know where our goals were going to come from anyway. When we was talking about predictions, I can't even remember. I think Charlene predicted a win. I think Helen also, don't quote me, but I said a draw. And even with that draw, I was like, I don't know where our goals are going to come from. I said the most likely to score on the pitch would probably be Pepe if he starts, or Saka, or more convincingly would be a set piece, header from a corner or something like that. So to see that we don't even have any of our strikers. What are we saying? Willian at false 9? What are we saying, guys? Willian at false 9? No, I don't even know. Kennedy's saying what formation are Arsenal using? A formation without a striker, that's for sure, unless they throw in Balogun into the first game of the season. Oh, that reminds me, I've got to change my fantasy football team, because I think I had Lacazette in there, I think he's the only Arsenal player I had in there. Gonna change it up for Pepe or something. What's going on? I hope he ain't got no more injuries, says Joey. No, apparently they're both unwell, and according to reports, Aubameyang hasn't actually been to training this week. In the last 2 training sessions, apparently he's not been at training, so he hasn't been involved in the build-up towards this game. I'm surprised that, to be fair, I didn't watch the whole press conference because I was quite busy yesterday, but I'm surprised that Arteta didn't mention this in the press conference. Please confirm if he did, but I don't remember him mentioning anything about Aubameyang and Lacazette being unavailable. No Lacazette or Aubameyang prepare for the L. If I'm honest with you, Spec, I think a lot of Arsenal fans can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of Arsenal fans were already preparing for an L tonight, which is so sad because this is a newly promoted team. We should be getting a win. It should be a walk in the park against a newly promoted team, but where Arsenal are at in this current climate, you just don't know what to expect. You just don't know. Kennedy says, I had Arsenal 8th end of the season. They were not doing great in recent years, even with Partey. He didn't do good. Pepe, possible striker. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, he's got a few hours now. The game's not until this evening. He's got a few hours to figure out what the game plan is now that two of his most important players are not available. GB's saying expected formation will be a 4-3-3, probably lineup. Of course, Leno in goal. I'm guessing you're putting Chambers at right back there. The two centre backs, Ben White and Pablo Mari. Tierney at left back. Midfielders, Xhaka, Elneny and Lokonga. Didn't expect that. Okay. Saka on the left, Smith Rowe and Pepe, yeah. And the false nine may return and we shall see a very fluid top three. When you say top three, do you mean like the forward three or like a top three performance in the league? Please confirm. Arteta will 100% play Willian false nine. I don't think so, you know. I'd be very concerned if he does, but I don't think he'll do that. Ivan Toney in my fantasy Premier League scoring a hat-trick today. Big up Marlon. It's been a while, man. Great to have you back. The banter begins. The banter definitely begins. Arsenal's in a complete mess. Just when you think things couldn't get worse, to see news come up like this is unbelievable. Let me see if I can actually go through more of the details for anyone that's just joined the stream. I think it's discussed here on goal.com. Let's have a read, shall we? Right. What's it saying? Who could play in his absence? The most likely replacement for Aubameyang against Brentford would be Saka. A lot of us have said Pepe. Some of you have said Willian. I know that's banter. Saka, as we know, was given some preseason minutes against Tottenham the other day. If he's match fit, he may start. Who knows? He may start. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. How are you guys feeling? That's the most important thing for me. I want to know how the fans are feeling, knowing that Aubameyang and Lacazette are not available for the first game of the season. Gosh, man, what a Friday night. Who wants to start their Friday night like this? Arteta spoke about Aubameyang's struggles last season and admitted he was unsure whether his captain would return to his goal-scoring best during the upcoming campaign. Now, when your manager says that, that's quite worrying. To be fair, reading that sentence, I thought he was going to say if he would continue to be captain, because we speak about this a lot, whether who the real leaders are on the pitch and in the changing room. And I'm not quite sure if it is Aubameyang, you know. I think it is players like Xhaka, possibly Leno. So it's interesting. Last season, everything that happened individually, collectively, and around the club, it was difficult to measure whether it was a trend or a one-off. So it seems like Arteta's not sure about Aubameyang. Interesting, but wasn't he the one that fully convinced him to sign a new contract with Arsenal? Wasn't he the one that made sure that he stayed at Arsenal? So what's changed in a year? What's changed in a year? Let's go through some of your comments. Arsenal's just a mess. No, he sounds like a robot in his press conference. Yeah, it was. I think that's why I didn't end up watching the whole thing, because I was just a bit like, you're not giving me what I want to hear right now. Kennedy says he'll have Arsenal v Brentford as a draw, same as me. Arteta doesn't mention 90% of the things in the conference, which is so frustrating. That's a really important thing to mention. You have to mention whether your strikers are available or not, because you know if they haven't been turning up to training because they're unwell, you should know that it's a doubt that they're going to start. But maybe they don't want to put. Maybe he doesn't want to put that idea in Brentford's head. You know, they don't want to let them know. Arsenal are turning Brentford over. Trust and believe. I hope so. In a game like this, if you forget about everything that's happened last season, you expect Arsenal to beat Brentford at least 3-0. And if it's not a clean sheet, 3-1. You expect goals against Brentford. But Brentford are a really good team. The way they've come up has been quite strong. They were dominant in the Championship. And that was after losing the likes of Ollie Watkins. Benrahma. They're still they're a good side, but will they have what it takes in the Premier League? We'll see. Noah says Martinelli or Balogun. Why play a player out of position when we have strikers? It's true. I'm expecting to see Balogun's name on the first team sheet now. How about you? Martinelli can play as a striker. Marlon, I'm actually not going to the game. I left it too late to sort out tickets. But no, I'm not going. Not going. He should play Martinelli or Balogun, but Arteta will play Nketiah. I'm pretty sure Nketiah still has an ankle injury. I know they said 3 to 4 weeks. I'm pretty sure those 4 weeks are not up yet. So I don't think he's available, but we'll see. We're kept in the dark about so many things. So who knows? We might pop up and see Nketiah starting, but I doubt it. Saka, Pepe, Martinelli as a front three, says Joey. Pepe's pace could cause them real problems. Yeah, I'm hoping he dominates Brentford and lets them know that, listen, the Premier League's not a game. Yeah, you were consistent in the Championship, but can you do it on a Friday night in the Premier League? Everyone's saying Balogun. But GB says, I just don't expect Arteta to give Balogun or Martinelli a chance to lead the line. He's got no other option at this moment in time. Who are the other options? Unless you put Pepe at striker, but then who's on the wings? Are you going to put Emil on the left and Saka on the right? What's the option for a striker? Are we playing with no striker? Are we going with the false nine again? Is it going to be Willian again? Who knows? Kennedy says, am I the only one that thinks Lukaku is going to flop on how much this man was bought for 150 million? I think Lukaku is going to flop in the Premier League again. I have a feeling. I don't think so, Let me just say one thing. I'm definitely not looking forward to playing Chelsea, especially with Lukaku in the mixes. I'm not looking forward to playing Chelsea's second game of the league. But I did see the video that's been going on social media where he was a young adult at Stamford Bridge. I don't know what it was. Was it a college trip? Was he a football player then? I don't know. I want to know the background of that. But it even touched me as an Arsenal fan. I was like, this is cute. Like, a young man dreaming of playing somewhere, and now he's hitting the peak of his career. He's able to go back to Stamford Bridge and not hopefully, but he's hoping to do well. I'm not, especially when he's playing against us. Not looking forward to it at all. I've always thought as Lukaku as a massive talent. If you go back to my videos from previous years ago, my blogs from years ago, I wanted him at Arsenal. The year that he went to Everton, I wanted him to come to Arsenal instead. But I've always rated him as a striker, and I don't think he'll flop in the Premier League. He's done well at West Brom. He's done well at Everton. Do you know what I mean? He was doing okay at Chelsea when he was there, but remember, he wasn't getting a lot of game time. He's always done well. Yes, Man United was questionable, but I don't think he fitted their style of play. But you know what? Unfortunately, I think he will do well at Chelsea. And that is a big, unfortunate situation for Arsenal fans. But hopefully, we turn up on that day we play them. And when we play everyone else, to be fair. Let me get through some of your comments quickly because, I'm very slow when it comes to this. Where are we? I'm a rival fan, so I'm hoping... No. What's wrong with Lacazette and Oba? They haven't actually said what the actual problem is. They just said they've been unwell this week. And they haven't mentioned Lacazette's training, but they mentioned that Aubameyang hasn't been to training all week. So it's a huge concern. Adam saying start Balogun and Nelson. I mean, yeah, cool, I get it. But then we're just going to have a whole youth team playing Brentford. Because if you think about it, Ben White's young, Lokonga's young, he's probably going to start. Emil Smith-Rowe's young, Saka's probably going to start there. It's a very young team. You throw in Nelson in there, Martinelli and everyone else. We're basically playing our under-23s team at this point. But what can we do? Louis said he's really sad hearing the news. It's Arsenal. You guys don't have Europe competitions. Banter aside, you guys are going to finish 5th or 6th. Yeah, I said the same thing, Marlon. At this point, that would be not an achievement, but it'll be a big improvement from the past 2 seasons. So realistically, I think the ambition is to finish 5th or 6th this season. It would be incredible if we got any higher, but the teams that are competing at the top at the moment are just... We're years behind them. We're a squad full of players behind them. We are nowhere near at the moment. GB saying Aubameyang got that check and now we are panicked. He's got ozolitis. That's a good one. I'm feeling like Arteta won't be at Arsenal after Christmas. Hopefully we can appoint. Tag will be amazing. Then Tag Overmars. How much experience does Overmars has as a manager though? I mean, I know a lot of people mention, past players and ex-players coming back into managerial positions. We've seen it with Vieira going to Crystal Palace as well. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it unless I've seen them achieve, unless I see like an Overmars or a Vieira even achieve massive, titles and honours at other clubs before coming back to Arsenal, then I'd be all for it. But I'm not sure about that. Martinelli can come off the bench and still play as a 9. Joey saying not Pepper, Pepe, Saka, Martinelli, Willian, Balogun, Smith Rowe, good people. We should still have the players to beat the team. Yeah, I hear that. What do you think? Who do you think will play striker? Pepe can play striker with Saka right wing and Martinelli left wing. That sounds like the most realistic and also the better option to replace Lacazette and Aubameyang. I prefer Saka on the right wing. Martinelli does bits on the left wing if he does get a chance to play. We've seen him back in training, back with his gold medal from the Olympics. And Pepe, as we know, can play striker. Alpha saying Willian hasn't played the past 2 friendly games against Chelsea or Spurs. He did play as Smith Rowe at a false 9 before. Pepe isn't proven to play striker. Probably Balogun or Martinelli versus Brentford. I'm pretty sure he played striker at Lille and he's played striker before. So I'm pretty sure he's a proven striker and a goalkeeper too. Ashok, I'm really well, thank you. How are you? Good to see you guys, man. It's been so long. Maybe he don't want to give Brentford hope. It's Beck saying, oh, guys, I miss you too, honestly. I would like to say I'm going to be consistent this season. But yeah, of course, Aaron, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be consistent as possible. As long as Arsenal don't put me into a deep depression, then I will be here talking about them. But it's so hard when the team's not performing how you want them to. What is that? Marlon, is that true? You signed Varane 18 days ago and he's not registered for tomorrow's game. How on earth is that possible? What was the contracts? Who were the lawyers involved? What? How is that even possible? You've had more than enough time to make sure that he was ready for the beginning of the Premier League season. What? Who's writing the contracts these days? Who's in charge? Monique, please update me. Who's coming in to bolster our play offensively? As far as I'm aware, absolutely nobody. It's probably going to be somebody from our squad, such as the likes of Balogun. Probably Pepe could play up front, or there may not be anyone up front. It could just be interchanging front 3. We have no idea who's going to replace Aubameyang or Lacazette. We'll just have to wait and see. What happened to Aubameyang and Lacazette? Like I said, it's just been reported that they are unwell. Here is the headline. I'll show it again for anyone that's just joined. Athletic is where I saw it first. Let's have a look. Aubameyang and Lacazette will miss Arsenal's trip to Brentford. And that's all it says. That's all it says. They are both unwell. They played in all 6 of Arsenal's preseason games. Aubameyang did. But yeah, they're unwell. I don't know what they're unwell with, but they are not available. That is as much as we know. And if I'm honest with you, when I saw this news, I was like, surely someone's having me on. When people just have these made up tweets just to go viral and just have banter against Arsenal. I thought it was one of those things just to upset Arsenal fans on the day of their first game. But that is actual facts. This is actual news. And Arteta just chose not to mention this yesterday in the press conference. Kennedy says, yeah, 1-1. Yes, Jay, I'll be at the AFTV watch along later. I do need to get a move on. I've got so much things to do beforehand. GB saying needing the playoffs to be promoted isn't dominant in Championship. Yes, true. Norwich are definitely the dominant ones, and West Brom as well. But I still think Brentford had a very good campaign. They had a very good campaign because you've got to realise it's not easy. The season before, you got to remember they made it to Championship playoff final and almost promoted, but it was Fulham instead. And to then go another season straight after that and still competing near about the top of your league, that's not easy to do for a second season after losing your key players in Ben Rama and Ollie Watkins. You have to give them credit for what they've done because they've done it 2 seasons in a row to get to a Championship playoff. It's not easy to do that consistently whilst losing 2 really good players. So yeah, I will say they've been dominant in the past 2 years because we haven't done anything consistently except stay at 8th. So that is dominant in my opinion. Just to say, GB might not agree, but that's my opinion. Balogun can play up front, but Arteta will somehow bottle it. Ashok, no. Unfortunately, Pippa, I'm going for Brentford 2-1. No, don't do that to me, Ashok. I'm hoping that it's mad because it will be a surprise to everyone if Arsenal win, even myself, because I predicted a draw. But I'm just hoping that they just do something miraculous. I don't know where the goals are going to come from now. So it would be crazy for me to predict like a 2-0 or 3-0 or anything of the sort, because where are the goals coming from? Somehow this person thinks Arsenal are at an advantage and will win 3-0. How? Let me know where those goals are coming from, please. I told you he will go false 9 and a fluid front 3 in a 4-3-3 formation of Saka, Smith Rowe and Pepe to start. Sounds like the most realistic one, or Martinelli. I know, Joey, I don't know what to think. I just don't know how to feel now. Just don't know how to feel. Kenny says, as always, we must turn up. Whoever is on the team, I'm worried about our defense at set pieces. That said, if we get chances, we must convert. And we know, Kenny, that has been a big problem for us, because there has been times where we've had chances to score and we haven't scored. And those chances don't come often these days. But yeah, we have to convert. We can't. I know it sounds easy for us saying it's sitting on our chairs, but you have to convert as many chances as possible. I know it's easier said than done, but we cannot afford to not score, especially with our strikers missing. So it'll be interesting to see how we play today. I'm saying right now, PSG are not winning the UCL. That's your bold prediction of the season, yeah, Marlon? Bold predictions of the season, or football in general. I don't know. They have to win, man. You can't have like a world 11 and not win. Big up, Julius. How are you? Big up, long time. I reckon Arsenal will win 2-1 tonight. Unfortunately, why is that unfortunate? Oh, you're a Man United fan. It's not unfortunate. Something isn't right. I reckon Lacazette will go and we'll bring in Tammy. Yeah, especially with the Lacazette situation, because I think out of the two, I could be so wrong here. We just don't know what's going on at the club these days. But I think out of those two strikers, if any of them were to leave, it will most likely be Lacazette. If it was down to the club, I think, because they've just given the Aubameyang that big new contract. I don't know, but I just feel like this whole thing of them not being available, not being at training, one of them could be on their way out, and this is just a discuss. I don't know. It's just blanketing over something that someone else is coming in, like a Tammy or whoever it is. But it's very strange that all of a sudden that they're ill, because we get suffocated with so much Arsenal content on social media these days that it feels like it was only the other day that I saw a training video on Instagram with Lacazette and Aubameyang walking together saying good luck Martinelli. But now I think about it, it was a little while ago when Martinelli was in the Olympics final. But they seemed fine then. I've seen training videos. So whatever's happened in a week has changed drastically for them to not be available. So it's very worrying times. Musin saying Pepe, Saka, Smith Rowe, and play Martinelli as a striker. But Arteta, being the clown that he is, will probably do this false 9 beep and play Bellerin, which I hope he doesn't. So yeah, I've noticed that a couple of you have chose Callum Chambers in your starting 11 to go ahead of Hector Bellerin in the right back position. Is that the mood for today? Everyone's going for Chambers over Bellerin. Everyone's getting onto Arteta now, saying he's naive and inexperienced. Noah's saying, I bet Arteta will start Elneny and Xhaka. Lokonga has to start for me. I think Lokonga and Xhaka will be, because we need someone, as much as we need someone to hold up the defense, which Xhaka can do. Yeah, I would say he can do. We also need someone that's going to drive forward if we're not going to have them goal scorers on the pitch. So Lokonga has to score for me start for me, because he's that player that does drive forward, does create chances, and he's got good movement. So he has to start. Jockey says, "How do you feel about meeting the legend that is Roy Keane?" Do you know what? I don't get starstruck or anything like that, but I was a bit like, oh my god, that is Roy Keane, mate. And he's actually so lovely. He's got time for everyone. He spoke to us afterwards, and proper nice guy. You can see the behind the scenes footage on my YouTube channel, the videos up from last night. We spoke to Ty afterwards as well. But honestly, when we was doing the show, he doesn't hold back. You know what he's like. You see him on TV. He's very animated, and once he gets going, and he gets louder. The Irish accent gets stronger, and he's full of character, mate, and he doesn't hold back. But I felt very honored to meet him and speak to him. The fact that he knew who I was crazy. It's just like, what? You know me, little me. Alpha says, reminder, didn't we finish 6 points away from top 4? Yeah, we did, but in the grand scheme of things, we finished 8th. I don't start doing mathematician and getting my calculator out, seeing how far we are away. I look at the position on the table at the end of the season, and it's there in black and white, and we finished 8th. There's no point saying, oh, it's only this points away, or do you know what I mean? We finished 8th, bottom line. It's not good enough. Kennedy says, I have Wolves winning 2-1 tomorrow against Leicester City. Chelsea is gonna win easy 4-0 against Palace. You would expect them to be fair. Big up Guna with the super chat. He says Arteta doesn't have money to spend. That is why. And I think it's starting to show in his press conferences. He seems a bit, what's the word? He just seems uninspired. When I watch his press conferences recently, he seems like he's being hard done by. Like he wants to say much more, and he takes these little digs. And I just feel like, yeah, things are happening because I'm not being helped in certain situations, and I can see that there's clearly something going on that's stopping Arteta to do better at his job, whether it's lack of funds, lack of backing. But we've brought in 3 signings, but we're still, it's not a good enough window for me. There still needs to be more coming in. Why is Black Money saying my name like this constantly? Hi, how are you? AYN Fever says, I have a feeling that Vieira is going to struggle this season. Yeah, that's no fault of his own. Crystal Palace do have some really good players, but they've always just been there or thereabout. They've managed to survive for quite a few seasons now. And when you say struggle, what do you mean by that? Do you think they're going to get relegated? Because I feel like Crystal Palace is always a team that will either just about survive relegation or sit above it. And although their fans will not be happy with that, you're still in the Premier League. You're still able to play against all these other teams. And I still think they're in a not. If you look at the grand scheme of things and the other teams are in the table, they're still in an okay position. So when you say struggle, what do you think he will struggle with? Do you think he will not be able to keep them in the Premier League? Because that to me will be struggling. Because if we look at it and compare it to other seasons, what isn't struggling then? They've always just about survived. So is it going to be the same story where they just about survive? Because to me, that's not Vieira struggling. That is the Crystal Palace struggle. That's what they do. Or is he going to get them relegated when you say that? Break it down to me. 64 points is the floor. If we get a decent attacking midfielder, that should be good for 6. 70 points is probably ceiling. That should get us 4th. But we have to avoid a run like we had last November through Christmas. Mate, I think that run's going to come early. We've got Brentford, we've got Chelsea, we've got City, we got... Don't even stress, girl. Don't even stress. Marlon's backing Sancho to have a better season than Pepe. When you say a better season, do you mean individually? Like, will his stats be better than Pepe's, or will Manchester United do better than Arsenal? Which I think, even as an Arsenal fan, I can admit will probably be the most likely situation at this point. But Marlon, back your talk. Is he going to have a better season individually? Are Sancho's stats going to be better than Pepe's come the end of the season? Because I don't think they will. And that's me. And you know me, I say it how it is, and I actually don't think he will. Cole says, don't worry, Pippa, Arsenal will finish in the top 10. Bellerin will win the golden boot. Yeah, that is banter. Dead banter, to be fair. Big up Cole, though. Big up you. Who got blocked? How do you even get blocked? All strikers, an Arsenal team, their performance is not good enough, and we will see the game today if the results should be positive, sorry. Oh, you're saying that all the strikers are not good enough anyway? Yeah, they didn't have a great preseason, did they? No. Kenny says he's worried about the defense against set pieces. However, if we get clear chances, we must convert. I think I read that. But yeah, I definitely agree. How can our day go from bad to worse? Literally. My predicted lineup, Ralph, I haven't got a clue at this point in time. I don't have a clue. I don't even know who's available. I feel like in another hour's time, there's going to be another bit of breaking news. Oh, so-and-so is not available. Like, at this point, I'm expecting the worst. Gosh, like, if I'm honest with you, this Amazon Prime documentary, I wish it was at PSG right now, not Arsenal. I think we'd rather see what's going on at PSG with all those big characters, meetings, Ramos, Messi, everything that goes on, Neymar. We don't want to see our flipping Amazon Prime first game of the season. Oh yeah. Just let you know, Aubameyang and Lacazette's not playing. Yeah, let the media know now. You can let that news out. It's just a joke, man. It's just a joke. We're gonna have a breakdown before the season even starts. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, guys. Cause I've actually got to go. Also got to get ready for the watch along later. I've got to pick up my son from football. There's so much to do. We've played well in Europe without any senior striker. The kids are a lot better at connecting up with each other and interchanging. That I agree with, Craig. I definitely agree with. Smash the like button, people, man. What's my prediction? I predicted 1-1. But now I don't even know if we can get one goal. Yeah. Come on, Saka at least. Pepe has to score one of them. Someone has to score. Someone. Here's a positive comment from D-Link. Says, I think this season will be good for our young players to get game time and develop. We can actually focus on the league. I mean, that's all we've got to focus on, to be fair. Honestly, Yannick, it can't be real. It's real. This is real. This is not a fire drill. This is real. Please evacuate. This is real. Can't believe it. It's good to see you, Pippa. I still can't see Arteta playing Balogun. Everyone said that. I don't know why. What is it about him that he won't play? Yeah, it does sound too convenient. Something definitely isn't right. Something's not right at all. So I have one of those players that you see right next to me here. One of them are leaving. That's not a fact. That's just me, my thought process, because something's not right at all. Yeah, good. That's what I was saying this earlier on AFTV in the Good Morning Arsenal show, that Brentford have great recruitment and they do good business. Like you said, they bought Watkins and Benrahma for around under 10 million. They sold them for 60 million plus. So, and they're still, like I said, they still managed to keep their head above water. They're now in the Premier League. Those two players, that's the reason that they left, because they wanted Premier League football. They got to the Championship playoff final, and it was heartbreak. I met them both after that game where Fulham won, and it was absolute heartbreak for them. And you look at them and you think you should be playing in the Premier League. Now, you know, Ollie Watkins is doing his thing at Aston Villa. Benrahma, I think he's actually, wait, isn't he leaving? Because I feel like now that he's got comfortable with the Premier League, that's a player people should worry about. You says has no hope at all. He says Arsenal are done for. I think it will be a hard game, but 2-1 Arsenal. Guys, get your predictions in quickly, because I actually have to leave, man. This life is so hard having to juggle everything. But I should have came on the stream earlier. But once I saw this news, I was just like, I cannot not do a video. Big up Mark. Big up everyone in the chat. Jessica called me a woat. I don't know what that means, but hey, Jessica. Ryman says it could be a blessing in disguise. Martinelli time, anyone? Worrying time, actually. Yeah, worrying time for Arsenal. Lolo says I'd rather see Gabby and Balogun than these two. I mean, they're not the biggest fan favourites at the moment. They used to be, but how quickly football changes. How quickly things change. They were especially Aubameyang was the man of the moment, and now it's like he wasn't scoring anyway, so let's just bring Martinelli or someone. Yeah, we definitely don't feel prepared, and it just echoes what everyone was saying. As negative as it sounds, it echoes what a lot of fans were saying at the end of pre-season, saying, you know, especially last week against Tottenham, we were like, bro, the Premier League starts in 5 days. We are not ready, and we couldn't be even more not ready after losing Aubameyang and Lacazette at the first hurdle. So yeah, man, it's worrying times. Tenzin says now Lacazette is in his last year current contract. He's going to have a good season and we're going to give him a new contract. No. What we should do at that point is, if he does have a good season, we should be able to cash in on some good money for him. I know he's getting older, but we cannot afford to let all these players go on a free, because if you look at it, Aubameyang's probably going to go on a free after his contract. He's going to be 30 something. Like, yeah. Jessica saying Chambers or Cedric over Bellerin. Hi, Daniel. Big up the new people. Make sure you subscribe. I don't know. Just subscribe somewhere. Thanks. But how can they both get ill at the same time? Literally, it does not sound right. It's crazy that I always feel like there's some type of conspiracy around Aubameyang, because even last season when it was like, oh, because before, remember last season there was always something wrong with Aubameyang, and before that there was never nothing wrong with Aubameyang. He played every game. But under Arteta last season, there was like this ankle injury, this there was something serious that his mum was ill, which is fair. But there was always something, and I was just like, this isn't right, man. Since he signed his new contract, there's always something. And for the first 3 incidents, whatever it was, I just wasn't buying it. I was like, something's being covered up here, and I don't know what it is, but that's me and my conspiracy theory brain going off on one. I don't think there's a lot of Bellerin fans in the chat here. First and last name says best news of the day. Time to give Balogun the chance. Lolo saying sell Aubameyang, keep Laka. Josephine's asking where do you think Arsenal will finish? She thinks 10th. Ty probably thinks first. No, I think, what did Ty say yesterday? I think he said 5th or something like that. Don't quote me, but he definitely didn't say first. Muslim says Ainsley, Chambers, Cedric even play Tavares ahead of. Wow. No one's. I bet knowing this now, I bet Bellerin's gonna have the man in the match performance after everyone's getting onto him. Big Arsenal relying on kids, backwards fans, Saka and Mills before Balogun, Martinelli keep dreaming. Okay then. Okay. We can win any game if we don't. Oh wow, there's no Bellerin fans here at all. Like Keane said, just like us, you guys struggle to sell players. We do, and it's really frustrating. Big up Pippa, big up you, Babatunde. Aubameyang and Laka could be on the way out. Apparently, there is a report that Oba has been placed on the transfer list. Now, see what I mean? Maybe my conspiracy theories aren't crazy because something just isn't right about two of them not being available like this. Maybe they're just over it. They're over it. Lokonga should start, but Arteta will go with El Neni because he goes with everything fans will disagree with. Of course, I know, I couldn't believe it. Mad thing. Big up Roy King. Arteta is not our problem. We heard from Willian that Arsenal want to win the Champions League in 3 years. In reality, we're ready for the championship. Oh, God. Guys, I'm going to have to breeze through these comments quickly. This guy said, feel famous, Pippa, not as famous as Ty, but then again, who is? The way that Jamie was arguing with Ty, if you saw my face, I'm sure you guys have seen the video. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know whether to smile, laugh, or I was just like, what is going on? Like, they're actually arguing. Like, are we allowed to do this? Should we be arguing? What's going on? Yes, he's actually a very nice guy. Very, very nice. Friendly. This team lacks direction and confidence. Love Arsenal. Arteta out. Kroenke out. He's selling the players randomly, but they came out and said he had money to spend. Do you have any hopes whatsoever this season? Yes, I have hopes that we could win a cup this season. I actually have high hopes for that, and I'm expecting Arsenal to win some type of cup, whether it's the FA Cup again or the League Cup, the Carabao Cup. And I'm really hoping that we finish in a European position again in the top 6. Yeah. So, yeah. Jessica says, Wagwan Pippa, we are making top 4 this year. I see a clear plan for Arteta, just not the funds to get it done in a year or two. What are you saying, 10 years? 10, 15 years? Oh, gosh. All right, guys. Pippa, if Tony scores a hat-trick tonight, would you consider him? I don't know if you haven't watched my content ever before, but I've been asking for Ivan Toney for the whole of last year. I think even before he went to Brentford, I've been asking for him. He's always been on my radar. So, but hopefully he doesn't score a hat-trick against us. Please, Lord. Both your bad runs started after results against United. Gosh, man. Oh, guys, listen. I would love to sit here and talk to you guys all day. There's so many comments coming in. Big up everyone that's joined. I know it was a random one, but I do have to get on with my day. It is match day. I've got so much to do. I've got to pick up the young one from football, get ready to go to the AFTV watch along and all that stuff. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. I will be back with more content around all the news around Arsenal. Whatever happens after the match, I'm sure you'll see content probably tomorrow morning because I will be busy doing lots of content on AFTV today. But big up everyone that's here. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. And I'm hoping we do not get embarrassed today. I'm sure we will let in a goal. I'm sure Ivan Toney will score. But I'm just hoping we don't lose. I'm hoping it's not a bad result on our end. And I'm hoping that we have some more updates regarding Aubameyang and Lacazette in due time. But like, guys, thanks again, and I will see you this evening on AFTV. Bye.